be able to do something. And when you're unemployed, they give you the opportunity to either start your own business or you look for a job. And so I opted to start my own business. And so I just looked at my talents and I thought to myself, well, what could I do? Well, I knew I loved to write, and that's really what began Flow Magazine. At first I thought about having a newsletter, making it a newsletter, but then I decided, or actually I believe I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, why a newsletter? Why not go for something bigger? And I'm the kind of thinker who believes in doing things big. We serve a big God, no reason why we can't do things big. So that's when I decided to do the magazine.
Wow. And what have your response been from the public in terms of the magazine? Do you have people, a lot of people that's trying to publish the magazine or and things of that nature? How is it coming along?
Well, we first launched our first issue in July of this year. Prior to that, we had a pre-launch party.
Okay.
And we had it right here in Plainfield, in fact, at Freshwaters. We had another radio station come and they didn't broadcast it for us, but they were there helping us to spread the word. That was a very good event that we had. However, but I will say that it's slow. We are basically centralized in central New Jersey.
Sure.
And, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of support, it takes a lot of hard work in order to produce a magazine. But I decided that I wasn't going to allow that to hinder me.
Sure.
And so I did a lot of research as far as how I could go about promoting it.
Yes.
And as I said, when we had the event, we had people to come out. And that's when we first got our subscribers.
Sure.
But it's not moving as fast as I would like, but I'm not discouraged in the least bit.
Well, things will pick up. We're going to do all we can at the church. What's happening now with Town Talker, we're going to have you back also again, and for Black History Month. But I look through the magazine. I like the pages. I like the magazine itself. Now, you are specifically writing towards women. In like what roles are you inspiring in your writing, or that they are to be good wives? I mean, that's what the men want to hear today.
Well, you said that's what the men want to hear. However, remember, this is a magazine to women.
Right.
It's to women and by women.
Right.
All of our writers thus far have been women. It's not that, I would deny a man for writing or sending an article, but right now that's what God has blessed us with. The magazine, even though it's for women, it's really to try to help God's people develop their gifts and their talents.
Okay.
I went that route because of my own experience.
All right.
For some reason, God has just decided to bless me with many, and I have always made up my mind that I was going to do what pleased Him. So I wanted to use each and every gift I had. And through me doing that, people would come and comment, your beautiful voice, or I like that piece that you wrote, and they would always comment, oh, you're so talented. And I would say, well, praise the Lord, but you have a talent too. And most times the response that I would get from people was, no, I don't. Or if I'd ask them, well, do you have a talent? They would say either no, or I don't know what it, I'm sorry, no, or just simply, I don't know what it is. So I decided, well, Lord, seems to be a pervasive answer that I'm getting all the time. And so I think that that's the route I need to go. So by utilizing my gifts and my talents and allowing the other writers to use theirs, we're hoping to inspire and encourage women to use theirs as well. Women, the only reason why I write to them is simply because I'm a woman.
Sure.
It has nothing else to do with it. But it doesn't mean that men can't be blessed by the writings. In fact, I happen to have a couple of men who do subscribe to the magazine. So that was a real blessing because I wasn't expecting it. But I was grateful to the Lord that even they found something in it of interest. Secondly, it also helps them to learn a little bit more about us anyway. You all always saying you don't know much about us. We're strange,
Yeah, everybody has become strange today. Men are strange and women are strange. Everybody running from one another. One wants to be on the chain.
Well, you can still bridge the gap.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So are you the sole? So you're not the sole writer of flow. You have
No,
other
I'm
writers.
not. Yes.
Okay.
That was another blessing. When I first started it 6 years ago, it was basically me. But I had to put it down because I wasn't ready. I hadn't done enough research and know all the ins and outs and other things that are involved in producing a magazine. But that was just because it wasn't the time. But when the time came, 2007, God blessed me to meet some women, some that I actually met this year, and then others that I've known over the years. And I asked them, based on the expertise that they had, if they would be willing to write in the different areas of the magazine. And everyone that I asked said yes. And so we have Reverend Terry Ann Smith, we have Gloria Durham, we have Maria Malone,
Okay.
Debbie Chandler, and then those are like my regular writers, and then I have some who write from time to time: Tamara Mingo, Donette Myers, and of course myself.
Have you ever thought about with the magazine? Because I mean, you have magazines made up of many aspects. You got the business aspect and the literal aspects with the writing and things. Of doing apprenticeship with the schools.
Actually, I have entertained that thought because there are different areas that the magazine does not cover that I do want to in the future, such as politics, real estate, travel, finances. We don't have anyone that's writing in those particular areas right now. And so I thought, if a student is in college right now and any of those areas happens to be their major or even their minor, that perhaps they would be interested in writing. Now it's just a matter of me reaching out to those colleges, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. But certainly, we would welcome anyone who is willing to write, able to write. We want to see, of course, some of their work, so they would have to send us some samples. It would also have to be copywritten, so that, but of course, if they're doing a fresh story, something that they haven't written, of course, at all, then that would be on us. But certainly, I've entertained the thought. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
And it's another way that they get to use their talents.
Sure.
Again, all going back to the very purpose for the magazine.
Well, that's a wonderful thing. And how have the church response been? I mean, and have you knocked on many church doors and introduced your magazine?
I'm glad you asked. Actually, we have a letter that we're planning on mailing out with the second edition. The current magazine, this is only our second one. So I've developed a letter that I plan to write to send along with a complimentary copy of the magazine to the pastors and or the head of the women's department or ministry. So yeah, that will be going out sometime this year, before the year is out.
Well, I'm okay. All right. Well, I guess what I was trying to say that have you visit many churches yourself with the magazine and ask maybe the pastor to give you 3 to 4 minutes, in the pulpit and talk about the development, or during Women's Day. I think you guys have that in October. Some churches have
some churches do. They celebrate it through various times throughout the year. But yeah, no, that was exactly what I was saying. I've started the process. I've spoken to about 3 pastors. Unfortunately, they haven't been quite receptive, which is unfortunate. And I find that that's the case sometimes. I'm not sure why, but again, I just don't let that faze me in the least bit. But I wanted to, in addition to just talking to them about it, I wanted them to see a couple of our issues, which is why now that I have 2 under my belt, it's a little bit more than just showing them the one copy. I think when people, in fact, when they first saw the first one, people were really surprised at the quality of the magazine. They really weren't expecting what they got. Okay. So with the second magazine, I've only heard great things. Wow, this is even better than the first. So I think by having 2 issues to show the pastors versus just the one, I think it gives them or gives me a little bit more leverage to go in and so that they can see that there definitely is potential here. She's producing a great magazine. It's great quality. It's got great articles, things that women are interested in. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm not putting that to the wayside. I'm definitely going to go forth in that.
Oh, okay, because
But we could use more support.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know